righty. And this is this week. And of course, Saturday night, it is the UFL Championship. As a matter of fact, we have two new teams. As a matter of fact, there is one team is back in the championship. That is the Michigan Panthers, as they will host the DC Defenders. And these two teams have met each other. But before we begin, I would like to welcome back my guest I had on before. Is XFL Jim. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the program. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. I'm in St. Louis. I'm excited for the game this Saturday. It's going to be a blast. Two new teams, two great offenses as well, and at least with DC, they try to attack you defensively. I'm hoping it's going to be a shootout. It's got to be closer than last year.
Absolutely. Now there were two, like I said, like last week, there were two games. We had the USFL Championship, and then after that, it was the XFL Championship. So let's begin with the USFL. So Michigan beat Birmingham for the first time, and before that, the Panthers were 0-7 against Birmingham. So Michigan almost beat Birmingham in Week 9, 26-22. Birmingham won that game, but in the championship game, Panthers led 7-0 after the first quarter, and then when it was halftime, it was like 21-14 at halftime. Then in the third quarter, it was 34-17. As a matter of fact, the Panthers scored 44 points against Birmingham's defense. Toa Tara had like 85 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Bryce Perkins passed for 238 yards and 1 touchdown pass, and rushed for 34 yards and another touchdown. And in the regular season, Birmingham 3 losses in the regular season was below 10 points. So this is like the points they gave away, 44 points. And before the season was almost over, it seemed like Vegas actually liked the Michigan Panthers, and they were like, I was like, people thought that was crazy because everybody thought Birmingham was going to win it. But now you're looking at it right now, Michigan beat Birmingham for the first time. So, what was your reaction for the USFL Championship? Were you shocked that that happened?
Not shocked. I mean, I was shocked that it looked like early on that Birmingham was going to get torn out of the building, but I did have a feeling that once Matt Corral got put in, they pulled Jamar, put Corral in. I had a feeling in the back of my head maybe Birmingham comes back, they make it a game, but they just couldn't. Michigan with Bryce Perkins, at least on offense, has been the best team in the league fully this entire season, bar none. And Birmingham, I was worried a little bit with how much their luck was going to run out. These last few weeks, they were playing real close with a lot of teams, and they've been through so much. They've gone through 5 different quarterbacks this entire season. That's just it was the toughest season that they had in front of them. You can't win them all. This is the first time we're not going to see the Birmingham Stallions in the championship game, and I think this season alone, they had as many losses this season as the last 3 seasons combined. So
That is an amazing stat right there. That is amazing. I never knew about. Now let's go to the XFL Championship. Now last year, St. Louis evened the series as Manny Wilkins led the Battlehawks to a greedy win with their defense slowing Jordan Tamu down enough to secure the win. But this season, back in week 3, defenders controlled the tempo of the game. They had Manny Wilkins off rhythm from the start, and their defense was like didn't relent as the defenders beat. It was like 27-15. But when I looked at Max Dugan, he was like 3 for 7, 29 yards in the first half, and he ended up being benched. And then Brandon Silvers took in. And then you got to give credit to the DC defenders because they did St. Louis dirty. As you know, the Battlehawks, they did have injuries because they lost their starting 2 corners from the season earlier this year, which DC capitalized. They target Miles Sims early as Jordan Tamu found Seth Williams on a deep ball. DC front right off the bat. And St. Louis also missed Austin Falou, defensive tackle up front, one of the top run stoppers in the league. And they also placed Isaiah Mack on injury reserve, who was also placed well in that category. And that game ended up 38-14 DC defenders. And it was like a writing on the wall. I wasn't surprised that DC won that game, but I was shocked like how bad it was. And so right now the Battlehawks are 0-2 in the championship game.
I was so surprised with how flat the Battlehawks came out. I wasn't surprised that DC won because I thought DC was going to win. Um, this is like if you count playoff clinching scenarios, this is 3 years in a row now that the Battlehawks have fallen short, and they don't just fall short in these games. Like they got dominated this game, they got dominated last year by the Brahmas, and if you go back to 2023, they got dominated by the Sea Dragons when it was like, oh, the winner of this game gets to go to the XFL like first round semifinals. And yes, they are a great team. They were the number one team in the league. They had the best record, but it feels like in the high pressure situations, they just keep falling flat. DC also just owned them in that spot. And for my money, I think the DC Defenders of the last like half of the season playing the best offense in the league right now. Maybe running the ball a little bit shakily, but the way that Tomu's throwing that thing, they're looking good.
Yeah, very impressive, impressive. And then I heard it was something ridiculous, and they were saying like, St. Louis should fire the head coach. I'm like,
No,
no, no, no, no, no. You don't want to be like the New York Knicks the way they did their situation, but that's a whole different topic. But he's a great coach. You know what I mean? So give him a couple of years.
I agree. I don't think anyone the league itself, even if he was like an actually bad coach, and I don't think he is, but even if he was, the league's not really in a position to fire coaches. I don't think anyone gets fired this year.
Exactly, because they usually leave for a better
Mm-hmm.
opportunity, just like it happened this before the season even started.
Exactly.
Just like what happened with DC. And then the interim head coach took in. Nobody ever expected DC defenders ever even make it to the championship game.
Yep. Coach of the year right there, baby.
Exactly. So that should be a great story right there in the UFL.
It's my favorite story. I think the way that Sharon Moore and not Sharon Moore, that's Michigan. The way that he's Shannon Harris. Thank you.
Yeah.
Shannon Harris, the way he's been like coaching his ass off, losing your head coach a week before the season starts, and then losing your defensive coordinator like 2 weeks into the season. He's done a great job.
That's very terrific. Now we're going to do the preview of the UFL championship. As you know, that game is in St. Louis, as XFM Jim said. Now this game will be on ABC because last year it was on Fox. So next year it will be on Fox. That'll be the so next year not only will it be on Fox, Fox will be able to do the World Cup. So just letting people know about that. So let's do the UFL championship. So recently, the Panthers signed Michael Tussey to the roster to replace Brian Torden, who has been placed on injury reserve. He is out for the season. So Tussey played all of his college ball at North Dakota State, and he racked up outstanding 338 tackles, 10.5 TFLs, 11 interceptions, and 22 PBUs during his time at the school, as Torden has been a key piece to the secondary the last 2 years, especially lately with all the injuries piling up. So 2019 was actually a breakout for him because he did had 105 tackles in 16 starts. Then across 2021 and 22, he earned the All MVFC First Team honors in 2022 as he was part of defense that allowed just 172.4 passing yards per game, seventh in the FCS. Now, since the UFL has been established, the Panthers are 2-0 against the Defenders. Now, the first time they met, that was in Week 7 on a Sunday. That was on May 7th of 2024. That was 22-9. This year, it was 38-14 Panthers in Week 6, as the Panthers have scored more points and allowed fewer than DC this season. And you got to give credit, like I said, you got to give credit to the DC Defenders holding to the Battlehawks to 18 points. As of right now, when I first saw it, as I looked at for last week, as a matter of fact, Panthers and the DC were a 1.5 point underdog in last weekend. As right now, the Defenders are sitting at a plus 135 to win the championship. So I have Michigan winning this game, but I wouldn't be surprised if DC keep this game close because my concern is I know Michigan's secondary is banged up, but my question is for St. Louis is how they're going to stop Bryce Perkins. That's my really big question if you're the DC defender.
I don't know if there's any way that the DC Defenders can stop both Bryce Perkins and Toa Tua. The run game for the Michigan Panthers is going to go crazy. It's going to go nuts. The issue for the Defenders is if the Panthers get up early, they can run the ball on them. They will be able to just like eat up clock, pound the rock. I don't suspect it to be a blowout, though, and I think the way that DC has progressed throughout the season in their passing game, they can turn this into a shootout. They've been super efficient with the ball as of late. I feel like they can keep up, and I feel like they can take advantage with deep balls from Jordan Tamu to a lot of different guys. And DC's been running a little bit better too. I'm hoping for a shootout. I'm hoping for a close game. I definitely think DC has a shot here. You have to favor Michigan just because Bryce Perkins is playing out of this world right now. But maybe Jordan Tamu's fired up. He didn't get MVP. He was putting up all the stats in the world. This Defenders team, through all odds, has kind of like done it, and they're having a great season. I'm going with the Defenders here to get the win.
Okay. Now, I did hear something about the UFL is going to expand because there were some trademarks that were filed. Now, the question will be is like, what city were they going to put the teams at? Because you know the UFL they have been looking at the attendance. Because I know Memphis has not been doing well in attendance because the team played poorly, by the way. And of course, when you're down south, there's a lot of stuff to do in the south.
I mean, Russ Brandon was like asked about it at media days today on Friday. They're not really talking about anything. They're kind of keeping everything close to the vest. I don't suspect we hear any expansion talk until they're already fully done deals. If they do expand, I would like to see like a Louisville or maybe somewhere in Ohio. Some more Midwest representation would be fun. I feel like we have enough around Texas. We don't need another run around there. Maybe New Orleans would be cool. But I would love like a Canton, Ohio, or a Louisville. That would be awesome.
I'm surprised nobody didn't say Oakland because Oakland have no professional team.
Oakland would go hard if they did. Oakland, I'd want them to pair it up with like Seattle, like get Seattle back, and then get an Oakland or Oakland franchise in there.
And you know the crazy thing about this is, since I live in Michigan, you'll be very surprised. There are a lot of people that love the Michigan Panthers ever since
Oh
they
yeah,
were in the USFL, the original USFL. So since you're in St. Louis, are there a lot of Michigan Panthers fans? Because I know there's a couple of reporters they're actually in St. Louis, so do the Panthers.
I think I saw like two today walking around, but those are just driving around. There'll probably be like some more tomorrow. I remember last year you saw a couple like San Antonio Brahmas fans out there, Stallions fans walking around. The weather this afternoon, it rained like a decent amount, so there wasn't a ton of people out and about.
Wow, that's unbelievable. So since Saturday night is going to be, and I have a great feeling that since it's on a Saturday night, because you know Saturday night you also got to deal with the NHL Stanley Cup, because right now that series is tied 2-2. Now the question will be is like this. I have a feeling that the ratings will be up, but the question is how big will the ratings be for this upcoming UFL championship? Because I believe that since Michigan is in the UFL championship, the ratings will be a bit more higher than the previous championship game.
I mean, I think just because it's ABC doing it, they'll obviously be higher, like consistently year over year over year. ABC has been the network where the UFL and XFL see their best ratings. So I think just based on it being the ABC broadcast, you will see potentially better ratings than last year. I'm not so sold on that, but it'll be probably better than like the conference championship games, especially being Saturday at 7 p.m. It's a great start time for it.
Now, thing about here in Michigan, because we do have an ABC affiliate that has been like a top 5 ABC affiliate since the day it existed. So that will definitely get some TV ratings.
ABC's where it's at. Like they've been killing Fox when it comes to like the over the air ratings for the league.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was XFL Jim. Now, where can my listeners find you on social media and your show?
You can find me everywhere: YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm all over. I'm gearing up for a lot of off-season content for the UFL. CFL is in full swing, though. So the CFL season starts up. CFL Jim's going to be making a lot of appearances. And then I have a lot of big off-season content things planned for the UFL. So stay tuned.
All right, thank you. I totally forgot about that. The CFL is coming up.
We're already in week 2.
Okay, so in week 2, okay. It's been a while since I paid attention to CFL because CFL used to be on NFL Network. Now it's on CBS Sports Network here in America.
Yeah, you can watch CFL on some broadcasts. Some games are on CBS Sports Network. Other ones you have to go online to CFL Plus.
Okay, thank you very much for that update. Because when July hits, I'll be like, what can I watch other than baseball?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Tigers in first place. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, what else can I watch?
Feel that.
All right. Thank you very much. And like I said, hey, I'm ready to watch the Michigan Panthers go against the DC Defenders tomorrow night. So I am happy.
I'll be excited. Anyone who wants to say hi, just walk up to me, and slap me on the butt.
All right. Thank you very much. You have a nice, wonderful day.